What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this the All Star selections and what's the picks and everything that everybody made, right? And so, as you know, it's a good chance that LeBron James won't be in the All Star game, at least not as a starter, right? And so, I think when you get down to like the end of the career of your career, especially as a franchise ball player or the face of the league, and by the time you get down there, I think sometimes you don't make the team, or if you do make the team, like Michael Jordan, he made the team, but he wasn't a starter. Vince Carter, gave up his starting spot so Mike could start, right? And you in that situation, you got two North Carolina guys, and one guy just paid homage to the older guy and just allowed him to start, which I thought at that time was good. But for LeBron James not being able to start this year, I just think it just comes with the territory. Like people may not feel like he played up to all-star level, so he didn't get the votes necessary. Some people feel like he should have been voted in just on seniority alone, right? It don't always work like that. Especially in the NBA, it don't always work like that. So now we have these young guys in here, and everybody's saying that like this is the changing of the guard. And I like that what I see in the league right now as far as like these young guys and the changing of the guard. Now, when you talk about like, all right, take for instance like the Joker. Like the Joker is 30, so I, I don't see the Joker probably being like too much a part of the future of the NBA as much as I would say like Wembyamba. Also, what's the guy named Jalen Brown? I don't. Jalen Brown is 29. I don't see him being, because they're up in age. They're in their, damn near 30 years old or in their early, so they got probably more basketball behind them, in my opinion, especially really great basketball. Like it's not like the Joker is going to be 35 and still going to be dominant and going to be dominating the league, or Jalen Brown is going to be 35 and dominating the league, right? I think the future of this league right now is this guy Victor Wembanyama, right? And I've said in other videos that I like the way that the team, the Spurs, is managing him. They're limiting his minutes and using him in a way that he's still effective and has a really big impact on it. And until his body, till he just grow into his body and his body gets strong enough for that type of how taxing that NBA basketball is, right? So they're managing him well. And like I said, he's only 22 years old, right? So that's good. I can see him being the future. Shea Gilgris Alexander, will he be the future? I think for a little while, like I said, he's 27. I think his time is now. Shea Gilgris, his time is now. Like I say, 27. I think Michael Jordan was 27 when he won his first well, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Was Michael Jordan 27? He was in his late. He was around 27. I think when Mike won his championship or close to it. So this is a good time for Shea. I think it's he could be the future of the league, or I think he's now though. I think his he is now more so. Steph Curry, in my opinion, is he had his time. He got his 4 rings. So he's part of that old guard, and he's gonna be phased out. Luka Doncic. When I think about Luka Doncic, man, I just think that Luka, in my opinion, and Luka's only 26. His time is now too, right? I think he's a part of. I don't think he's going to be like dominating later on. I think his time is now. I think if what the best thing a team could do, what the best thing the Lakers could do for Luka is surround him with a lot of defense, because Luka is on the defensive end, he is very, very deficient. But on the offensive end, this guy is really dynamic. So Luka is a part of like right now when it comes to the league. I don't see him. I think, like I said, the future of the league is Wembanyama and this guy, who the next guy? Cade Cunningham. You got a guy that's 22 and Cade Cunningham is 24. But let's talk about Giannis, right? Giannis 31 years old. He already has one championship. And when I think about Giannis, I think about like how Milwaukee, they mismanaged his career, in my opinion. And I think they made some mistakes that affected Giannis's legacy, right? I think that had they kept that coach that they had, Budenhauser, I like that guy coaching. And I think that management allowed Giannis to dictate some of what went on for the team instead of managing that situation yourself and constantly putting the right people around Giannis. They had the formula for success. When the Milwaukee Bucks won that when they won that championship in 2021, right? They had the formula for success. They had Bobby Portis, they had Holiday, they had Middleton, they had shooters, rebounders, and defenders around Giannis. And then Giannis was he was like that dynamic ball player that was taking them over the top. But they kind of broke it down when they got rid of Holiday, they got rid of Budenhauser. Then you're gonna bring in Dame Lillard, right? And all that did was like put Giannis back at square one. When they had the formula already for what to put around Giannis and how to help Giannis be successful with the Milwaukee Bucks. And they broke that down, they fooled with it, and they messed it up. And so now you have Giannis at 31 years old, contemplating going to another team. Whereas though, like, success is fragile, they just gonna continue to build on what they had with Giannis and just, and kept it like that. Teams make that mistake. So let's move on over to Brunson. Right. I don't think Brunson, in my opinion, is the future of the league because Brunson right now is 29 years old. So Brunson is 29. And he's playing with a team that I don't think, like, when you have somebody who's on the offensive end, I think he got to work too hard to get a shot off. So he's not going to be very efficient. Right. But on the defensive end, I think he's a liability because he's not a big guard. I think it's hard to win a championship with a small guard like Brunson. I think Brunson probably is like about 6', 6'1" at the most. So it's hard to win championships with Brunson unless you have a bunch of defenders around him. And they do have defenders around him, right? They have a really good defensive team. But you got Karl-Anthony Towns around him. And Karl-Anthony Towns is not really that consistent. He shows up sometime in big moments, and sometimes he don't show up. So I don't think that, like, this guy right here, Brunson, is going to be a part of the future. Now you do have Tyrese Maxey. Now I didn't know that Tyrese Maxey was only 25 years old. That's going to be a problem. Like, if the Sixers, the Philadelphia 76ers, know how to put the right talent around Tyrese Maxey, and they make that his team, this guy's only 25 years old. That's going to be a problem. He only a year older than Cade Cunningham, but I thought, it seemed like he has been playing forever. So I like Tyrese Maxey. I like Tyrese Maxey, and I think he could be a big part of the future too. But for the overall league, man, I think what's going to have to happen in the league is you're going to have like some rivalries. I think Isaiah Thomas spoke about this. That's going to be, instead of looking to one player to be like the face of the league, like what Michael Jordan was, I think it's going to have to go back to the way the league was in the 80s, where you had Detroit, you had LA, you had Boston. The Dallas Mavericks had a really good team. Well, I mean, the Seattle Supersonics had really good teams back then. Milwaukee had some good teams because they used to, you had good teams. Philadelphia had good teams. So you had a lot of different rivalries throughout the league. Like that era with Michael Jordan was like it was magical, right? Mike dominated and it was magical. But I don't think that you're going to be able to recreate that. I think that's over with. I think the best you can do, and which wasn't best, what wasn't bad. Like I said, the 80s was the golden era, of basketball. The 80s and then into the 90s with Michael Jordan. But they're gonna have to have rivalries around the league, and I think that these guys are gonna create those rivalries. You already have Shea Gilgeous and Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs and the Thunder going at it, right? So that's going to be a rivalry. Then you're going to have other teams that's going to have to go up against Detroit in the East. I don't know it might be the kid, Tyrese Maxey. If they can put the right people around him, it might be Tyrese Maxey. But that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be rivalries more so than like having one person be the face of the league and dominate all these guys. I don't think that's going to happen like what Mike did, or if it do, that's just hard to predict. It's hard to predict like you have like one face of the league. But I like it when you have guys who just going at it, different teams just going at it, man. And so um the future do look good because I like the playing style of all these young up and coming ball players. Only thing I don't like is sometimes you still have these guys that shooting a whole bunch of threes, but I think that's gonna, it's gonna teams are probably gonna cut down on the threes a lot going forward. So that's my take on it, man. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. With that being said, I'm gonna check you all out in the next video. Peace.